Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast. We talk, you listen. Streaming to the world and beyond, we will talk about all aspects of life. We will host a variety of guests, where each week we will educate, motivate, encourage, and inspire you. Let's get started with your host, Mr. L.A.
Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast, where we bridge the highs, the lows, the lessons learned through life's journey, and filling in the gap. You already know what it is, man. It is a fresh, new week. So that means new opportunities. That means the momentum to create the energy that you need to achieve every goal you have planned for this week. So that means no slacking off. We are in the second half of the year, so you already know we got to finish strong. Finish the race. All right. I got my me shirt on. I don't know if y'all can see it just too good, but yes, that mind shift execution. All right, man, make sure you get it, man. They'll be available, taking pre-orders. All right, check this out. If you're listening on any platform, if you're listening to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on my website, whatever, www.givingapurposepodcast.com, all those things, man, do me a favor. You know, we got a YouTube channel too. Make sure you subscribe, man. Hit that button, man, so you get all of the episodes. You don't have to miss one because they drop at midnight. So when you wake up, or if you can't sleep and you need something, man, you can definitely listen to it. So hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys are linked in to every episode freshly, new week, and freshly every week. Yes. So thank you guys again for every opportunity to speak to you guys, man. I'm so appreciative. I don't take it for granted. Woo, man. What a crazy week, man. So much confusion, anger, just busy, just feeling tired. Man, had a moments of almost breaking down, and just it was rough. And that's why I say it's so important to have great energy. That was the only way I was able to push through. I created an atmosphere to allow myself. I even had a moment this week, man. I'm just, always transparent with you guys. Had a moment this week, man. Had a big argument. No, it was a big argument, but a big enough argument with my mom. And, I always talk about self-assessing. I always talk about dealing with things in emotion and then dealing with things in reality. Like, that's a big thing for me. And so I was in the moment. I was upset. I was doing a whole bunch of things, and I had to find a way to get out of the emotion of it. All right. Now, when things were said, like, I said really some things that were truthful, things that did happen. But like I said, the way it came off with the emotion was in a bad way, if that makes sense. And so when I came down from the emotion, I'm just like, all right, I felt like I had to carry through what I was saying I was going to do, not because of the emotion, but I was being true to what I said, or I was being truthful, or I was in my truth, I should say. And I'm just glad that I had the opportunity not to just do stuff in full emotion and just go off the edge because I was upset. Now, yes, did have to come back, regardless of what's going on. I do apologize. You know what I'm saying? I told my mom I apologize. Now, let's keep it a whole buck. Now, I said, I still feel, what I said was the truth. That is my truth. But I shouldn't have projected it or done it the way I should have. And in the discussion, I'm competitive. I'm trying to I'm trying to win, and I'm just, like I said, it's that emotion because the biggest thing for me is not ever, I hate being taking advantage of is not, well, I don't like to be taken advantage of, that's not the word, but it's like basically in a nutshell, my kindness for weakness. Like, I'm really not a me person. Like, I do stuff really out of the kindness of my heart. I'm always thinking about the other person. I'm trying to make sure whatever they do is good. And like I said, and if you go back a couple episodes when I talked about struggles, I struggle because some people don't always have that heart. And it even includes family members, friends, co-workers, and things like that. And so it's a struggle for me because I expect it in return. It's like, man, I'll break my neck. I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'll do this without any strings attached, without any, I don't need big recognition. But the fact that if you really knew me and you didn't start in the emotion, was like, he don't really operate like that. Let me dial back. Let's figure out what the issue is. Let's figure out what the problem is. Let's have a conversation about it and really figure out what the issue is, and not necessarily caught up in the emotion and knowing that my character isn't like that. And the fact that, I receive things in a way, it's like, man, you really don't know me. And like I said, it really is different because the person I've been with the longest is my mom. Okay. So the person that I'm with the longest, right? Feeling that they don't understand you and they don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that you're close to. And it happens in relationships too. It's just like sometimes the disappointment comes from that person that you think should know you doesn't act or start with, I know you wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And yes, there could be things that, awry. There could be things that come out during that some people do act out of character. I'm not saying that I'm perfect or the other person is perfect, but to start, you know what I'm saying, like that, like I guess I start with grace a little bit. Like I start with, nah, that's not their character. Now, for me, if I'm going to accuse anybody of something, most likely I have to see it with my own eyes. Like somebody could tell me something, but I still got to see it. I mean, I guess that's the inner lawyer in me. Like I'm coming, I'm coming with evidence. I'm not coming with so-and-so told me so and so, such and such. Nah, I'm coming with, well, I actually did observe you do this. Well, I actually have evidence of you doing that. So it's not that somebody else told me that, but just being able to push through, man, and just understand, like, sometimes you got to take the emotion out of it and come down to it. Like I said, I apologize. Like I said, I still feel the way. I don't want to say, because I don't want people to mix the feeling and the emotion in the same sentence. So what I mean by that is, what I said I meant. The way I did it was wrong. Whether I'm right or wrong, the way I did it was wrong. And of course, it's my mom. You know what I'm saying? It's still a level of respect regardless. Like I still, even though I would always want it to be a mutual respect between my mom and, we're two adults at the same time, it's still my mom. You know what I'm saying? So wanted to make that clear. But really what I wanted to talk to you guys about is just, being, just understanding that, right? And man, something also, like I said, this was a crazy week. Also, what I had to go through this week, man, I had 2 teeth pulled. My. Listen, first of all, I was already sketchy going in. Like, I don't have a problem you pulling teeth, doing whatever oral surgery, any kind of surgery. If you knock me out, you could take all the teeth out of all you wanted to. I don't necessarily like to see you do it. Like, it depends on what it is. Like when people talk about pain and stuff like that, they'll ask about like tattoos, like, does it hurt? It's funny because as long as I can see you do it, I can expect the pain. I guess because I've never actually had a tooth pulled before, I couldn't compare it to anything. So I really didn't want to see him do it, but it is what it is. You got to get the mindset ready. I told the little tech lady, but I told the tech lady, I was like, listen, she's like, you good? I said, I'm just getting my mind together. It's like, I really don't want to see y'all do it, but whatever. So we're going through it. They're numbing things down, doing what they got to do. And the guy was just like, well, actually, no, let me go back. I talked to the tech. She was like, you shouldn't feel any pain. You're going to feel some pressure, but you shouldn't feel any pain, right? I'm like, cool. I'm not quite sure what that line is, what you think pressure is and pain, but cool. Got it. I mean, I guess I'm assuming that you're going to feel, some push down, but you shouldn't feel any like, ow. All right. I usually have a tolerance, a pretty high tolerance for pain, right? And so he's like going out, he's doing what's name? He's like, are you in pain? I was like, yeah, because like this is a pain shooting to my wisdom tooth. So I'm not getting a wisdom tooth pulled, actually the tooth in front of it. So the pain was shooting through the wisdom tooth. I'm like, he's like, you shouldn't feel it. Like, you should feel pressure. I'm like, nah, I can feel a little bit of pain. So he's coming back with the needle. Listen, people, when I tell you he did that about 3-4 times, he's like, can you feel this? And it's like one time he did it, and I was like, yeah, I could feel it. But most of the times when he was going back with the needle, I couldn't feel it, right? And I'm like, he was like, well, you still shouldn't, you still shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? It should just be pressure. But because the tooth broke, he couldn't get it the way he wanted to get it. So he had to go like get some other tools and get some other things to use. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like the grabbing of the tooth, I guess because my tooth was broke, the grabbing of the tooth and pulling out, I guess it was more pressure. But him digging or whatever he was doing, it was pain. But what I want to talk to you guys about, where's your breaking point? Yeah. So are you going to break during the pressure? Or are you going to break during the pain? All right. Now, I know you've heard this. This is nothing new. Pressure does a couple of things. All right. Pressure allows you to have diamonds, but pressure also busts pipes. Pause that right there so you can kind of simmer on that. And you have to make the decision. All right. And what are you going to do with the pain? How are you going to use that pain? Are you going to quit? Like sometimes during pain, you shouldn't do some things. All right. But sometimes you have to push through the pain. But my point is, what I want you to understand, there's always a choice. See, he told me you should be good with the pressure. So I've had pressure before. And it's like, I can handle this. But the pain, that's where I had to make a decision. That pain was like, listen, I almost told him, listen, keep the tooth there. Like the pain was a little bit too much. But in my mind, I was like, you got to go through it. You can't stop right here. All right. Really, the pressure is nothing right now. All right. Because I'm in a mindset of I got to accomplish everything. So pressure is not going to stop me. Now, sometimes pain may slow me down. And that's what I want you guys to understand. That's what kind of happened with the story I'm trying to illustrate. Like the pain was slowing the process down because he had to stop and kept putting the anesthesia in there. See, pain can slow the process down, but it ain't going to stop it because you're going to have to go through some pressure. You're going to have to go through some pain. But will you quit? All right? Will you quit? See, I couldn't quit. We were in the middle of a procedure. So am I going to quit with the pain? Am I going to tell him stop? No, I took that decision away. That can't happen because it has to come out because I want to be healthy, and keeping it there was not healthy at all. All right. So pressure comes in what you decide it to be. If you are working hard, if you got something in you that says, I'm a diamond, I shine wherever I go. That's what I do. Or I'm pressure, and when things happen, I burst that pipe. But the pain sometimes is where you need to get over the hump. Because sometimes through that pain, it slows the process down. And you're trying to get through that healing. And you're trying to get through that breakthrough. But we're so used to seeing pain, or we're so used to doing stuff with pain. We're so used to numbing pain. All right. it reminds me of a story. I'll get into this real quick. I don't know if you guys know my story with surgery and everything. I remember one time when I did have surgery, they gave me the button for the morphine. And I kept using it because, one, they're coming in every 4 hours. They're doing, their check-ins and everything. But the morphine would just take away the pain and I could go to sleep. Now, the morphine doesn't heal anything. I still had staples. I still had stitches on the inside. Still had a tube in here was bleeding. It didn't stop anything, but it just masked the pain so I wouldn't feel it. And that's what we're going through sometimes. Sometimes when we don't want to go through that pain, we're putting that morphine on it. We're just masking the pain instead of dealing with the issue. And that's what I want you guys to do, because pain is always going to be a part of life. Pain is always going to be a part of life. What, are you going to mask it? Are you going to heal it? Are you going to allow for the surgery to take process? Are you going to allow for the healing to take process? Don't be afraid of the process. That's what was happening with me. I got so worked up in the beginning of thinking about the process, not knowing that on the other side, I'll be better than I was. Now, I know it doesn't sound good to lose teeth, but it wasn't healthy to keep them. And sometimes we're holding on to stuff that isn't healthy, thinking about the process and thinking about the loss and not what we're actually gaining. See, sometimes in life when you get a little bit older and you get wisdom, listen, health is wealth. I'd rather be minus 2 teeth and healthy than have those 2 teeth and be unhealthy. Because now, they have me on an antibiotic. He said it was a slight infection. Now that infection could infect the other teeth around it as well. So now instead of 2 or 1 or 2 teeth, now you got to lose all of them because you are too afraid to go through the process because you don't do well with pressure and the pain slows it down, or you're masking the pain. So I want you guys to work on working through the pain, because it's a part of the process. And stop thinking that the pressure that you have is going to burst the pipe, but it's going to create the diamond that you were created and in the purpose you were made for. Listen, I hope that blessed somebody. All right. I hope that gave somebody what they needed for this week. All right. Pressure or pain. One slows it down. One, you can decide to be the pipe burster, or you can be the diamond. It's your choice. You choose. Listen, you guys already know I appreciate you guys. I love you. Watch out for me and Dr. Marsh every Monday on IG Live, right? IG Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mental Health Monday, helping people get through these times and normalizing mental health. Such a great thing. Man, I appreciate you guys so much. I will check you guys next week. Make sure you live on purpose and make sure you live in purpose. I will see you guys next week. Peace.
You've been listening to the Giving a Purpose podcast. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play to get new, fresh weekly episodes. For more, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.